Pretty good. It's a good day.
How's the book going, man? You look
Ye-
like they're excited about it.
Yeah, man, it's been going real good. A lot of people have been asking about it. Got a lot of great feedback, especially on social media. A lot of people talked about they had anxiety, depression, different stuff like that. They love the fact that I do a lot of the note to selves. They love the fact that it's a workshop so they can actually learn about themselves as they continue to grow and develop into who they want to be in life. So it's been a really great turnout. Like, I'm thankful for Microsoft to allow me to go up there and perform and kind of talk about it, as well as Amazon, and thankful for Amazon as well as Barnes and Nobles and Fred Meyer's for just putting it in the stores.
You seemed pretty excited about this trade yesterday with Diggs. You guys are friends from
Oh
college, right?
yeah, no, we're like best friends, man. Like, so, it all started with his brother, Quentin Jammer, and my uncle Aaron Lockett. Like, they always had a close little bond, and so we always knew about each other just growing up. So I always heard stories about him whenever he was at University of Texas, and he would hear stories about me when I was at Kansas State, and so. It always started off competitive. Like, at first, it was kind of like that competitive, niche to where we didn't really like each other as much because we was always having to go against each other in everything that we did when we was in college. Then we signed with the same agency, had a good time with that, and ever since we signed with the agency, got to know each other, like all that different type of stuff. And so it's just crazy how it's a small world. How his brother and my uncle were really good friends, and now we became best friends.
How'd you say your uncle and his brother knew each other?
They knew each other through sports, through football.
What's the scouting report on him as a locker room guy, as a guy?
You said what?
What's the scouting report on him as a guy and as a locker room presence and player?
I mean, he's a great guy. Like I said, firsthand, I got to experience it whenever we were training together. The thing about him is his work ethic, like the way that he works. And I know that, again, because I worked out with him in Austin before we came up here. And so I was at the University of Texas with him working out. And just the way that he works, the way that he grinds, like, he really talks the talk. And that's the thing that you learn whenever you're around him. He's going to set you straight. He's not going to tell me something that's not true about myself. He's going to tell me the truth about myself if I'm playing too much, if I'm taking it too personal, whatever the case is. And so just to be able to have him here allows you to be able to have another accountability partner, allows you to continue to grow as a player, and he gets a chance to be able to see what the city is all about and how great fans we got.
Is that this past offseason?
Yep, worked out with him for about a week.
This league is so much about like measurables and prototypes and like kind of checking boxes of what guys are looking for. And Atlanta has Matt Ryan, Julio Jones was like third pick and sixth pick overall in the draft. You and Russ had to wait till the third round, but the production is similar. Is it kind of cool that you and him are kind of this kind of anti-prototype connection that is showing that you guys can be just as productive?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is we never wanted to be bust. We never wanted to be somebody that people were like, man, they could have been this. They could have did so many great things, in this game of football, but they were bust. They didn't do anything at all. So, I mean, with the type of chip on our shoulder that we had, the type of grit that we had, we knew that we already had to go out there and prove ourselves right with a lot of stuff. And we didn't really need much because a lot of people didn't believe in us in the first place that, weren't a part of our support system. So just being able to have that and going out there and playing with an edge every single day, I think that's what got us fired up. We got to see what our competition was like when we went to the Senior Bowl. We got to see what the competition was like when we came on our team for the very first time. And we continue to get to see what that competition is like every single year as different faces come, as new teams continue to gather together. So for us, it's always about continuing to have that edge, continuing to prove something, and continuing to play what you're playing for. That's the thing that always gets you the edge. If you know what you're playing for, then you don't have to worry about trying to find motivation each and every day. You already got something that's going to be able to take you further.
Is it frustrating that you would have been drafted probably quite a bit higher if you were taller?
No, I'm not worried about that. I mean, the reason I'm not worried about that is because it all worked out perfectly. Came to the place that lets me play receiver, that lets me do punt return and kickoff return when a lot of other teams was like, man, you're just going to be a third down guy and plus all the returns. The thing about me is I want to see how great I could be in this sport, like through everything, whether I play a lot, whether I don't. I want to see how far I could really take this game, and I feel like the Seahawks have given me that opportunity. I love being here. I love the way that Pete allows us to be ourselves. I love everything about this place, and that's why I'm truly grateful. If I had to wait again, I'll wait again. At the end of the day, everything's worked out perfectly fine. and that's something that I realized. And so I don't worry about like, man, I could have went first round, I could have went second round. I'm just thankful for the teams that did pass up on me because they missed out, and I'm thankful that P and John gave me a chance to be able to come here and to be able to try to find my absolute best for what I play for.
Wait, so teams told you that you'd be a third down running back or a third down wide receiver?
No, like some teams was like, we'll see you as a third down receiver, and then special teams. But it's all based off of how they saw me fitting into their style of play. And so every team had different opinions of where they wanted me to fit in and stuff like that. But where Seattle saw fit, they wanted me to start at return when I first got here, and they said, and whatever you can do at receiver, we want you to be able to do it. We want to see what you can't do. And so it gave me the freedom to be able to show everything that I could do.
When did you first hear about the trade yesterday, and what was your reaction?
I heard about the trade. Quandre called me twice. I didn't answer. I was doing an event with Quadrant Homes, and then my dad called me, and then I called my dad back first, and he was like, y'all just got Quandre. And so then that's when I saw John Snyder told me we got your boy Diggs. And so called him on FaceTime, was happy, was thrilled. Never knew that he'd be up here, besides us playing against each other. And just the fact that he's up here now, makes it even better. It's another home away from home. And just to be able to have another really good friend here, to be able to grow with you along the way and continue to push each other to get better, it says a lot.
Anything else, guys?
Yeah, Tyler, going back to the edge and you and Russell, was there any one moment that kicked in that you were like, you and him have that same edge of doing off-season drills, your first year, or do you remember any one moment that kicked in?
I think for me, when I just stopped focusing on everything but my job, like when I just started focusing on me and trying to bring to everything that I do to the table and allowing him to kind of teach me on how to be able to adapt that to his style of play, I think it helped me out a lot, because the biggest thing is you don't want to change anything about yourself. And so I stopped trying to conform my game to other people, and I started just continuing to be who I was ever since I was in college. And so as I continue to do that, and as I continue to play free, it allows me to be able to figure out what needs to change as I continue this relationship with Russ.
Speaking of college, who the best corner you went against in college?
Shoot, Jason Verrett and Quandre Diggs.